Okay, it's 5 minutes after midnight Eastern Standard Time, and the 2-period RSI with the 4-hour chart. Looking back, 15 bars. Trend trading it. And I will assume, I'm almost beginning to think I'm watching so much flat earth controversy, and I'm watching so much fucking harebrained shit where people are saying that this guy Peterson, this fucknut with a goddamn boat and his wife, pregnant wife, that he didn't do it. There's just not enough evidence. And then this guy in the Flat Earth Show says, what is it with people? They're religious fanatics. They're fucking Flat Earth fanatics. And there's fucking Fibonacci fanatics. Are you fucking kidding me with this Fibonacci bullshit? Then people say, well, RSI doesn't work. Okay, it's just the easiest fucking way to trade. Sorry, it's just easy. It's clock based. It's like, also you could structure trade simultaneously on the RSI. So this is the 2-period RSI. I'm only looking back, so it's really a 4-period moving average kind of. It's a 2-period moving average of momentum. It's any oscillator, like MAC histogram has a signal line. So you've taken in smooth. You got two smooths in a crossover. You've triple smoothed the fucking thing. Then you have the cloud traders. Oh, dude, let's fucking put like 8 layers of clothes on this bitch. We can't even tell what sex it is. Let's. I get it. You can overdo anything, but the one thing. The big improvement, I thought there was an MT3, but there's just MT4, and the version from 6 years ago would never chart like this. You couldn't do vertical. Well, you couldn't do 3 vertical charts. You would just tile. And when I saw this vertical, this is the depth of market people would understand this shit here. It really... Right now the limit algorithm, limit style is running right now on all 4. Now I have switched the robots and I've written 6 more versions, and one makes really good money, but it doesn't trade enough. In other words, I want the robot to do what I would do, which is try to get 3 every 4 hours, make money on a 4-hour move and just be done with it. So if I could see, oh, look at this half-hour chart. Isn't it cute? What an easy trade. Of course, if I have these all set to a half hour, if you're a pattern recognition person, you may be overwhelmed. So you can still be, music doesn't have to be complicated to be clear. It's clear. People say, well, can't you see? Yeah. Well, what's the biggest buy here is what's in the middle of the chart. Because on the 4-hour chart, you've got a nice clean setup, a goober setup. We've all seen it. We've all hindsighted it. But why don't people trade it? Because I got burned one day on it. They're like, I'll never fuck that kind of crazy psycho. What do they call them? Train wreck, tramp stamp trade. But hey, it's easy. And I see my robot. I just refreshed the robots. I see that the ones on the right, which I try to pick a different robot for every. I try to get the limit bots to fit the ATR. Now I noticed that I'm making more money on the guppy, obviously. And I have a 20 pip grid on the right and a 10 pip grid. So this is the this is the 10 pip grid, and this is a 10. So we can see how tight. If I come to like this, I've almost got the same ATRs running here. Now this trade is gone. I only see one setup on here. So if anybody's studied the RSI guy, Andrew Cardwell, Computer problem. You can see here clearly when you stretch the 2-period RSI. That's right, I said 2-period RSI because we don't want a fucking lag. Lags are for, I'm not gonna fill in the blank. It rhymes with lag. Now, we could say here, I have a criteria that if price comes below this window, in the next fucking 4 hours and closes there, you will pull the buy trigger, irregardless. But you can see the kind of stop you got to run, and you can see the painfully fucking obvious. Now, maybe it's not obvious. Can anybody see the reversal, or what people think is called a... You call it whatever you want. It's an inversion of momentum. This is what kicks the market off. This is the tipping point, as the earlier books of Bill Williams said. It's like a golf club. And this has a whip to it. Okay, it's like a whip. Let's not beat around the bush. So, 2-period RSI on the 4-hour chart is like a fucking 60-minute chart with a 8-period RSI. When you go to these big time frames, you got to sharpen up all your indicators. This no nonsense Forex guy. I just want to blow my brains out when I listen to this guy talk. Listen to this guy. Got the volume right on this. I want to blow you out with this guy.
This is the Forex Q&A podcast. This is VP, professional Forex prop trader here in the United States.
This is VP. Now this fucking goober, I'm not giving away my algorithm. Why not? Well, I worked so hard on it. So what? Dude, nobody's going to know about it unless you fucking give it away, you dumb fuck. These guys kill me. Dude, if it makes money, what the fuck you give a shit? What the fuck? These people are making money at it? I don't get it. Look at this beautiful fuck. Now, I did study this. Granted, I paid a guy thousands of dollars for this little trick, the momentum trick. That if you count 5 fucking bars, can you count 7 bars? This even fits with fucking Elliott wave shit. This obviously be some kind of pullback. And if you count each bar. Now, I'm not going to show you the whole chart because you don't need to have the whole fucking chart with a 2-period RSI. Holy shit, people. What's wrong with people, man? The Earth's not fucking flat, you idiot. But it's got to be all clickbait. People are trying to make a living at that bullshit somehow. Now, there's really no signal here unless you would kind of just trade classic retail RSI, overbought and oversold, which works completely well with a stop. In more than one ticket. Sorry, you're going to have to take more than one bucket. Just because you built a house doesn't mean you throw it up in one fucking day. Who gets in these fucking positions? Unless you're scalping the market. Who's getting into... The size you're in tells you the kind of trader you are. I had this guy, Calvin. He goes, the size of your stop tells me what kind of trade you're in. No, it doesn't. I could have a Lambda account with a fucking nano stop. I'm risking 10 cents. I'm risking $1.80, and it's on some array of tickets that something's going to survive. Of course, you really think that McDonald's, everywhere they set up, you think everywhere a big chain sets up a franchise, it's a winner? What is wrong with people? Look at how this thing in the guppy. Now, these you want to trade. If you're trading RSI, another thing. It's smoothing out the data plenty. It's a fucking close. If I ran RSI on highs and lows, now we're talking. Okay, this is complicated. I've done it. You put a 2-period on highs, the middle's close, and the low RSI panels run all those. I've looked at this shit for hours on end. You've got to trust me. There's no fucking... it's either RSI or volatility. You're either going to trade unfair value back to fair and get out, right? You're going to trade the vibration of the market, or are you going to trade the trajectory of the vibration? So obviously, the market's randomly walking somewhere into the void, I suppose, because once the void's been conquered, we don't know how long. Well, we know that if it's going in uncharted water, it could go in there very quickly or very slowly or very slowly. If you're impatient, it's very, very slowly. So there's nothing magical about the top of the hour, although I do think it matters. And it's Wednesday. It's this coming out on Wednesday, going to Thursday. Jobs report's coming out. Now this has, so as far as charted water goes, I'm just saying, like, if you took an aerial view of the white line and you're looking top down on the perpendicular view, for flat earthers, this would be like when you're on your back's against the dome. You're looking down. This is what you'd see as far as, the market's, this white line is marching and walking towards either the North Pole or the South Pole. And that also works for people that put their maps on the wall. But flat earthers would probably put their maps on the floor. It only makes fucking sense, right? Because it's about as close as you're going to get to getting that idea in the box. But I think this is Marxism, is what it is. Like I said, obviously this is the what they call the modernness, in other words, a utopian world that that just doesn't make sense. Like, these people are saying that this Scott Peterson didn't kill his wife. Well, it could have been, yeah, dude, it could have been, but it's not. Why are you wasting time bringing up shit that's not? Well, look at this Fibonacci. Well, it's not to the right. It's not to the pip. I know. Well, then what's the point? It's like an inch is as good as a mile. So my dad told me. And I thought to myself, no, not really. You just missed hitting that car. Or something, you just missed that. But anyways, the 4-hour chart, 2-period RSI. So that's like an 8-hour chart, right? We just took that, smoothed it out. We could do trend lines, we could do structure, RSI. We could actually trade the traps in RSI. So you're oversold. You're so fucking oversold, but now, just like anything else, even if you bought on limits on a plunge, it doesn't mean that the plunge has to stop plunging. It could just keep on fucking plunging. And so that's why, if you have a concept, if you have a, theory, a style, they should be able to get along with that. I mean, people have made millions of dollars that only have one style. They just do it really well, This Bob Dylan can't sing, but, he can whine about some abstract bullshit. So he gets away with it. I never understood it. People would say to me, Bob Dylan. I go, okay, well, Hendrix doing Rolling Stones, cool, but and then just like anything else. So Manfred Mann was doing better stuff than the people that had done it, right? So you could be that guy too, right? I mean, just MACD. I can show you how I trade MACD. I would put it on the tightest settings you can fucking find. I did a video about it, 13 period. Just take Elder Ray. All Elder Ray is 13 EMA, But the EMA looks like shit compared to the linear weighted moving average, because that is at least very nice and smooth. The problem with the EMA just looks really. I've spent hours looking at them. I'm just saying. I mean, the smooth one too. Although I don't know the smoothing numbers, and being a perfectionist does not make it easy to trade, because you really want the best You understand, it can be carried away. But we all seen this one, right? This signal. This is 0, right? Because after that went up, we would just call that 0. We're looking back 1 bar. Then we go up a bar. And the nice thing about the bar being here is we can count the periods. Now, a really clear example would be if you go to NetDenya, they'll let you do a line dot chart. You could probably get an indicator, or somebody could write an indicator. Now, that I guess I'd buy that. An indicator that just every close it puts a dot in, and I can choose the size of the dot. So I can actually count the bouncing ball there, that style. So another thing I would say to, I could get some kid to do this easy, I think. It has like just a glimmer of geometry in their fucking head past a flat earther. If you take this line and copy it over to this top, you can see the channel. This is a momentum channel. The real channel in price is opposite of that. That's how you know, wow, something's going on here, right? This is when okay, there's the inversion. Right? Drag it over, you have a channel. We're breaking out of this channel. We actually wanted to buy down here because we knew this existed, right? So trend lines don't work only because you don't know how trend lines work. They're not on wick tips. I can tell you that. That's not the trend. That's the volatility. Okay, you got to understand what you're looking at. I mean, I know that people want to think the Earth's flat. Okay, I got it, but it's not. I'm tired. I guess it's just one of these. I must be the ultimate masochist to listen to the flat Earth debate. But there's a guy that went out and took pictures of it. He got so pissed off, and I get that. That's what I'm doing here. He got so pissed off he went out and took pictures of the real fucking curve. He's like, all right, motherfucker. Now that's funny shit. Also, you could take this and, in other words, you could just decide that you're going to put it at this angle here. See this angle, and it should be apparent, right? Just like you would connect the dots in price. There you go. So here's your turnover window. Here's your pivots, RSI. They just show up at an angle. That's the only difference in pivots and close versus pivots in the real price. Then you can see the story here. You see the reversal. These two pieces inverted to these two pieces, right? It's unfolding right now. Okay. Momentum crossover is a real thing. It really is. I'm sorry. This would be like if you're out in a boat to get anywhere. For this market to get somewhere, it has to tack. Okay. It has to change the sails. We go this way. We go that. That's directional trading. You don't have to be a directional trader. What's the best performances? And I've thrown in shit in here, and I'm only down $700. I've done everything this thing. I've turned it off. I've cleared it all out. I've come back in. Now the rinse and repeat on the limit only. Now I'm switching to limit talk now. I guess I just blow through this shit. I don't pay attention to the topics. And some guy said once, of course it was this is like 3 years ago, somebody commented on a video I did about, this is right when Paris was being terrorized. These fucking bleeding heart bitches on Facebook were like, oh, Paris, we're with you. I don't know what the fuck it was. A bunch of towelheads again. Acting up. Fucking spoiled brats. I mean, just because you have oil, dude. Really? You gotta be a fucking cunt? People are so ridiculous. I'm still waiting to see this guy in his fucking brand new four-wheeler in the drift. I want to take a picture. It's just iconic. I bet I could find somebody's already done it. That's the beauty of the internet. But once the Bilderbergers see what I'm doing here with RSI, you can only imagine what's going to happen. I'm sure Andrew Cardwell will be proud. You say, yeah, he really if I told him I'm using 2-period RSI, I'm sure he has people that are doing that. So this isn't exactly perpendicular. This would be perpendicular, but I'm going to go with the transverse index of what nature's telling me, not what the GAN 45 is in the 618 or Earth people. Then I copy this over. This may not be the best color selection, and you see this is the pivot, right? This comes to here. We see this is the doji. It's a small zigzag. This is the zigzag indicator. Now we expect sellers to come in here. It's overbought, but it's punching through. In the big picture, what's really happening now, if I zoom out, you're going to go, holy shit. Can I believe what I'm seeing? I'm only looking at, that's another thing. That guy, the no-nonsense Forex guy. Now you can see it now, in a way. You got to be into this angular world of connect these tops in price over here. This is my connection point. This becomes the pivot into the future. Obviously, right? That is that's the transverse rate of change. Now, if I drag this around you treat it like a miter box, right? This means that in the long run, way up in here is going to be, you're going to hang it off that. Okay, that's your target. It's as valid as any other target because we know that the market will pivot around a momentum point because the market is a natural. This is if you're a Fibonacci earther, you can't deny this fact that if you think nature has a cadence, when you can identify it, then you should be able to duplicate it into the future. You know that's where it's going. Yes, it's obvious where the market is going. That is true. But to have the right amount of capital on deck with the right stop or enough money in the account and the account's a stop, let's face it, you're risking money. Okay, whether you have $2,000 in that account or $40 million isn't going to make you a winning trader, right? It will make you a winning trader in the long run because of $40 million in the account. If you're spending $10,000 a month to live, you can be a fucking idiot, and you can cloud trade. But what if you're trying to make money at it? Okay, you can already make money. That's obvious. So, are you going to be a clock trader, or are you going to be you literally show up every morning and go, okay, what do we got here in the 4 hour? And if you think you've missed the trade, now you're going to put in limits. Now here's where you have to really put your thinking cap on. If you don't want to jump into a trade and you see that, okay, well, this is where we're at. If I buy right now a little bit and put orders in a half a pip apart and lay a bank in for the next 8 hours, 28.5 pips deep, with a stop at 40 pips, there's maybe 100 orders in there, or there's 10 orders in there. And you got to do that on more than one currency pair. If you think that maybe you're off a couple pips, what's the chance of that? I mean, I just can't imagine that anybody would think, and this is the thing, another flat earth thing, they said, well, you can't prove the earth's round because, this fucking idiot from I don't know where, these people are just doing this for attention, obviously. Let's hope, right? Some guy in Australia is like, well, I look out, I don't see it. Dude, really? You've never been in an airplane? And notice when you look out the window, you're like, holy fuck, it's a whole bunch of different terrain. I can't see. I can only see so far. I can't see straight out. What are these people thinking? I'm always looking down at an airplane. I don't know why. And, let's be realistic. But I guess it's only because people don't trust the Illuminati, who's the creator of this own Benjamin guy. I was watching. I thought it was funny. Not really that funny. He's not even funny, but God, he's into this thing. You know how many people watch this guy live? And I think they're watching it because it's like a NASCAR. Well, it's like going to a hockey game and a fight. Go to a hockey game when a fight broke out, whatever that joke is. But the RSI is incredible. It's such a crazy hard index. Even right here, RSI is sitting at. Look at this fucking RSI down here. It's like point. Oh no, that's not right. Here it's like 0 or something. It can't go negative though. Anyways, it does no good. I mean, this is just to look back like this is to just let yourself know that, yeah, the market can. So the same thing's true. If the market's random, then it's even better because then anything goes. Now, granted, if I zoom out like this, you would say, holy shit. What the fuck? And actually, I can see the RSI in here. I can see the long-term signals in here real easy just by overbought, oversold, extreme shit here. Here's a nice divergence. Because of that going so far out, I got to turn off this ray. We're just going to look at the actual, and I'm going to make it big and black. I guess chunky stuff. That's as big as it gets. Okay. Oh shit. I choose no color. Great. Wonderful. I put none in for color. Jesus Christ. So I have to use my, oh wait, I can still edit it. I can't even see it to edit it. Wonderful. It looked like black to me. There's your divergence on this top. Now we have to zoom in and get the RSI at the price of the same verticalness as the RSI is pretty. Another thing with RSI, it's a quick and dirty way to accentuate the depth of the market without having to fix the scale here. So it's really quick and dirty. Because this is really what you're looking at is if you could drill into the market like RSI could just stretch into it. This basically, the kind of shit you're looking at here, especially. So this signal up here, it's also a divergence away from just your classic trend line. And this could be on close or, Jesus Christ, there's a bug just on my desk here. Okay, so here is your divergence. And here's your reversal. That was like they created that last gas move. It's like a triple reversal here. That's pretty obvious, isn't it? Got this. All right, got a nice channel. But we know this stuff does exist. We've seen this before. Here's a nice quick and dirty divergence here. Now, granted, this is happening in very extreme territory. Oh, I was going to draw a line there. And that's up there, isn't it? So, how do we know that's divergence? Because we see RSI is not making higher highs, prices. Actually, it's a pretty steep divergence. It's like that. Of course, that's 2-period RSI. Don't forget, that's a... So, on the landscape, people say, oh, well, that's great hindsight. No, I mean, as soon as the market makes a higher high and RSI doesn't, you start selling. And you're not worried about being wrong on that because you know that it's you're looking at the market closes and the RSI is not any higher, is not as high as price is in that direction, then you just pull the trigger. Now you have to be there for it. You've got on the 4-hour chart, you're looking at 9 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 5 p.m. So it's your classic dumbass fucking trading. Even though I feel bad for the no nonsense forex guy that he thinks that he's got to look at 10 million indicators when he doesn't even have a clue of what type of order to use. It's hysterical. And you could use a stop entry or limit entry, even with the RSI. Once you get to the point where RSI is giving you a signal, and by that I mean at the end of that hour, is RSI in a reversal or divergence? In other words, is it in a trend continuation position? Or is it the end of the fucking thing and doing reversals? No nonsense forex guy says do not trade reversals. Do not trade divergence. Only trade the trend. Put a bunch of fucking indicators out. Find his special secret algorithm soup. And just trade that. And then, confirmation entry. Of course, I would never have sex with you unless, who are these people? And then they're coming after this other girl because she was banging this guy that killed his wife. And I'm like, dude, she's hot. Come on. All the chicks are mad. It's so cute. Oh, can't believe that slut. No, you've only fucked one person in your life. I got it. Okay, next situation. So, anyways, we go to the next screens here. So this is the classic divergence entry. Oh, and it is true because it's reversal. You could have traded it. It'd be a range trade for a range trader. He would have got out here at the bottom of the range. Maybe he bought. And you can also see the pivot in price queuing up again. It doesn't matter where we go on the chart. So that's another beauty. This works anywhere on the chart. I'm just going to go. And the idea that you would trade without indicators, okay, maybe, right? Now, it's true I can probably drive my car in traffic without the speedometer. But I know there's a lot of gauge people out there. They're very into gauges. And this is just an easy gauge. Plus, I can actually trade this giant fucking retail style like this, right? We take all this chart into context. But where are we at right now in the story? So even though I can look back here and see, plus I can always be reminded constantly this big motherfucking void here. Look at this thing. Sorry, kids, for the language, but sometimes I just can't. I can't take it. It's just ridiculous. The flat earth shit got me all wound up. But this is your classic structure situation people would tell you about in textbooks. Here's a bottom become a top. This is a 4-hour chart. We're looking back like fucking 10 weeks. This is a big fucking deal. Of course, anybody that was bought here think this was a bottom. They went underwater on the trade. Now I'm speaking apparently of everybody, the big boys, little boys, every motherfucker that ever was or ever will be, and everybody knows this fucking setup. This dumb fucking goober setup. They worked back then, but was it? Okay, well, here's the micro version, obviously, right? You can see new lows. Okay, this is a new void. This is fresh water. This whole fucking window. Everybody knows this shit. We've seen this a million fucking times. I'm speaking to people that have seen it a million fucking times. And I could find the fractal of that. So the idea of a fractal, yes, it's true. Here's the trap, right? Rallies back up. Doesn't even make it to this bottom. I hear people say, oh, kind of didn't get filled there on my sell. Yeah, you didn't. But you had to think about this vacuum filling. Now you're in fractal land. So the fractals really do exist. Momentum fractals must exist. The Bill Williams fractal is a volatility fractal because he's depending on the higher high, higher low bullshit. That's bullshit to a trend trader. It's not higher, higher, low. It's higher close, lower close. It's over price over time. It's not a blip. That's why people like Akil Stokes would say, "Hope the news didn't fuck up our." News never fucks up our RSI. It's so funny because look at the wicks. RSI doesn't see this wick, this monster, but your fucking account would. And this lady's talking about the any depeggings, anything. This is over the counter markets. There's nobody gonna stop the price crush on that, and that's going into uncharted water, right? The uncharted water theory. And on the dailies, look at, we're coming all the way back to the simple, clean. How can you fucking deny closing price? You can't. It just cracks me up that people want to make this shit complicated. It's just fucking hysterical. And you can get signals, and the 2 periods going to give you signals, RSI and daily, that'll fucking blow your mind. Now this is what I marked off in the 4 hour. Look at this triple. Look at this nice clean divergence here on daily. That's got to be divergence, right? I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Very surprised at that price level. This is the 4 period triple. That's the fractal. That's inside. That's living inside. Gino Benelli. So, and look at this breakout, pull back to support on the trend line of RSI. Boom, one last failure. Meanwhile, the vacuum of RSI is itching to be filled. Right? Look at this crazy ass signal here. You know how much money this is worth? Now, RSI guy would say, this is what I'm talking about. Here is a 2 period reversal. Do people see this shit? I don't think they get it. Look at that motherfucker. That is your momentum inversion. And you really can't get that. I know the other guy thinks that you don't need RSI for that. It's like having a, if you were sailing on the flat earth on a pond, you'd have your what's below you, what's above you. It matters what's below you. And of course, this is just like the signals are just brutally vicious on this chart. And if you see this, you'd be like, Also, you can see that I think the reversal entry, the trend traders, that's the trend. I don't understand why the trend traders are not using RSI for the trend entry. All these trend trader guys talk trend trade. Okay, dude, RSI 2 period. This is a negative reversal. People call that hidden divergence. It's not hidden divergence. Divergence is, this is there's inverted confluence. You take this. I gotta get a different color. You take that. And that is what you project your target off of also. Gives you the price pulse target. Oh God, I'm just pissed off. There's no colors I like. What a nice clean signal. How brutal that is. And it's also a triple because it's happening underneath, or it's happening above that. It's insane. RSI is the best. It's the purest, simplest, cleanest momentum index on the planet. And then I saw that No knots for pick an indicator you like. Okay, I guess I like this one. Only because it's so clean. It's like if you just put a nice limiter on something. Just get some high-end limiter. So you should be able to whip these charts up pretty quickly. I think this is actually the 50-yard line. So there's a 5-pip window here on this chart. Right now you're failing. This reversal's failing because now here's where you'd say, oh, it doesn't work. Look at this divergence just before that last plunge. So you get, and this is a nice, if you're into the guppy RSI, if you're into a really serious volatility currency. Otherwise, what you have to do is go down to a smaller time frame that is more noisy. Because in the end, this is seriously a noisy, on the big time frame, it's a noisy market. That's why it's giving you this great, or it gets crazy. Noise, I mean big swings. Yeah, swings are noise. It just depends what the spread is compared to the noise, right? The noise floor. Like anything sounds really like, oh, I wish I could record that. Yeah, but the noise level, you're never going to get enough print through on the market's not telling a story. It's just you can't even hear it. So divergence here kind of fails. And I guess you could make the argument, if I went to the 4-hour chart, I bet I could find a reversal in here where I could get in here without breaking any rules. It's more oversold here. And if I go to the 4-hour chart, nice thing is you can actually go from time frame to time frame with RSI. So here you see the beautiful 4-hour setups. Here's your big fucking triple divergence here. Market's going lower, momentum's dying out. That should be obvious. It's actually penetrated this trend line though. So really the best signals in RSI are the 2 to 5 periods. So here you've only got, this is 0, and this is 1. Just count each bar. That's a 2-period divergence. Simple, clean. Here's a nice, they call them setups, I guess, for a reason. If the market sets up, tees itself up, you got to mark it on price for it to come through. At the bottom, that's the only problem with this. I wish it would just know that I want it to be on the top panel also. T4 is not aware. Anyways, I can't move that fucking line. It's right there. From here, this is 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So ideally there would be no zigzag here, but it's a 4-period reversal from that 0 point there. Copy this over here. We're looking for that to break. And that's breaking that channel, right? Because we're doing many channels here. And it's confirmation it's breaking out. But it's already broke. But you've cocked the gun. So you need to cock the gun. That's all I'm saying. It's clean. You have a top, bottom. I would say if you're going to do wick top bottoms, your first limit comes in here. From wick to close, you got a limit here. So here's your limit bank. It's painfully obvious. This is the breakout from this void. This is the biggest void. So if you understand the jigsaw, if you look up jigsaw trading, this is like manual jigsaw. Here's what my grandpappy had to go out and walk uphill both ways to the Forex pit. And so this window here is a big deal, and it treads water in that window. So all these wick tops, all these voids mean something. And all you're doing is isolating. This is a big deal, that move through price there. And it's a big deal into the future. That's the beauty of these markets. Now, the dynamic range certainly changes because this fucking move is fucking insane. That is an insane move. Will you give me that? And there's not anywhere to get on this train. You'd have to be on the 1 hour chart. This almost is a reversal just before it starts to just go fucking nuts. I think that is a reversal. It's the only place to board the train without breaking a rule. Now, how would you have got on that train? You'd have to see this top. Hopefully you could see this sag because it's already fucking happened, just like this one's already happened. I mean, what's so hard about this shit? You know that exists. Sellers are going to come in up in here. Duh. Are you selling for a scalp? Or you think you sell here and it's going to go down 1,000 pips from here? Really? Okay, for you the earth is flat. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Here's a divergence that fails and creates a big fucking sell. I mean, it didn't fail terribly, but it makes it structurally back to here. This becomes the pivot and closing prices. Here's a little buy. There's a signal quite frequently with RSI. Here's your reversal, very steep. So all you have to do is, if it looks too steep, you grab this panel and you bring this down to the same velocity, the same intensity as price. You kind of have to, because the scale matters. We see this trend line here, right? We break that trend line and close. That trend line is based off of these prices. So we have the real price trend line. Very steep. Breaks here. We got a board. Right? It's so easy to draw. It's so easy to see peaks and valleys on close. I can't ever see them on wicks. People tell me that's a double top here. Can't you see this double top? No. For some people, that's a double top. So it helps to, and look at this. There's a double top. One top, two top. And then it gets trapped up here. And now here's the new line of scrimmage. Look at that thing just banging on that price. And then people say, well, looks like there's resistance. Okay, what are you doing about it, though? Are you selling every time you get there? Is that going to go on forever? Well, trend lines just don't work. I can't even... You should hear the no-nonsense Forex guy. Trend lines just don't work. What do I do with the trend line? Do I get here? Yeah, of course you need a trade plan, dumb fuck. Let's say it's holding that trend line perfectly. Now, they'd say, well, you didn't draw it here? Okay, draw it there. You would have sold here and said, look at it, I'm right, see? I could take any indicator and go, see, I should be short. It's really respecting your trend line. No, it's not. I just picked an arbitrary line. I still have to build a trade plan around it. All these trend lines would be perfect. Like if I use the strictest rule in trend line drawing is find two values and draw a line. Right there. There's a trend line. It breaks. Market pulls back. Your trend line breaks. Market pulls back. I used to do that. I would draw the whole array and people said, look like a Gann fan. Well, of course. Look at, trend line break. Finds resistance. Sellers come in. I draw the trend line here. It breaks. Sellers come in at the top, right? It breaks, comes back. Not a big, great trade. Here, a trend line is here. Breaks. Doesn't really go there. Breaks. Sell, break, sell. I mean, trend lines don't work. Break, sell. Last chance for that trend line. Oh, it becomes a top later on. If I connect this and string it out, because of this shock, this move here, I'm just using it as a place to put a line. Look at beautiful triple bottom here. A guy in Canada I talked to does trend lines. He does them on wicks. I don't understand, but on closes, honestly, it doesn't make sense. You're a flat earther if you put them on the wicks. You're a volatility trader is what you're saying. Volatility matters. But, you know, at the end of the day, as they say, price could be all the way back to another price. You'd be surprised. In the next 5 minutes, if you're a 5-minute trader, you're like, oh, look at that. How long do you think it can keep selling at this line that we're at right now? And do you want to make money? Look at this beautiful sell here. Not a lot of pips. I mean, initially, you're going to take these two prices, copy this line to the lowest close between those two lines. That's your target. Target's hit. In time, in price. Here's a divergence that gives you the triple divergence or double divergence with kind of a very doji. Now here comes the breakout, guys. Okay, top of the hour is coming. I'm looking for this to punch up. There's the people that trade volatility that are trading in concert with you. People that are trading rooftops and basements. They're trading with you and you're all making money. You should be. If you're coming into the store when you're supposed to come in, right? Guys that come in late at night, they've just killed their wives, right? They're picking up some more supplies. The guy that comes in there all methed out to pick up a couple tools. But then there's the people that come in the morning, or the people that come in their lunch hour. I'm sure the people who work at the store know that. And it's just so, Forex is about the same way, right? Here comes London Open, shit's going to get crazy, markets are going to try to close and heal the voids, and it's just obvious, isn't it? What's not obvious is the amount of work you got to put into deciding whether or not you're the guy that's going to sell this void, regardless of what RSI says. And here there is no signal from RSI telling you that I should sell this on the 4-hour chart. I'm sure if we go to the 1 hour or the half hour, there's a fucking sell up there. And that's a fractal, which is a smaller version of reality. I'm sure there's an amazing divergence in there. So we have to prove that to the flat earthers. And there isn't. We'd have to go to the half hour. That is such a steep fucking move. And here it is. We have to go all the way to the half hour chart for that divergence. Oops, can't get it. I fucking drew on the wrong side of that. I'm using MetaTrader's drawing tools. That is insane. Actually, I think that is such an insane divergence that I'm not sure I marked it right. No, that's right. I thought maybe from here to that. Just before that move, look at this divergence. Look at how this diverges. And this is pretty insane. Structurally and momentum-wise, we get divergence here. Now that's just really, that is an amazing looking piece of movement. I'm going to use the divergence here against that. This is coming back to this huge fucking pivot See, there's a channel there. See this buy? See where this is oversold at a higher price. Oversold. Price is marching up. That's a triple buy. And then bam. No signal here. Just coming up into this structure. Here's a same situation here as the get more and more oversold. Price is not going lower to confirm this momentum vacuum. Here, another touch into your line. Another place to get in. Now this is going to be a little easier because this is less precise. I can blow through the chart like this. Here's divergence. Sellers come in. Divergence is what causes the signal to go the other way. So if we have here more oversold, higher prices, first place to get in, plus you're breaking this trend line. It's all coming together. Here we broke out. It's going to go spazoid, right? And we want to take profits. Now, if I was to keep this 30-minute chart, realize that's my entry. I'm getting out here, and I would just go back to sleep, right? Sellers come in here. We have sell limits up there amazingly because we're running the just the limit entry stuff. So I could trade against that. I could actually pile into these trades with market orders also. Now, if I join it all together, right, and do the whole thing in concert, it's two period RSI. It's supposed to be the topic. I'm supposed to stay on topic. Divergence here, right? Failing to get up in this window. Even trend lines are failing to be touched. Here's your top become a bottom, right? That's your big monster pivot here. There's your trap below the wick. All sorts of crazy shit here. Now these are all just, you can see all the trades in here. There's your triple divergence, gives you your first dead cat bounce. Don't even make it back to here. Everybody's hoping it gets back to here, and it finally does. Anybody that bought, anybody that kept buying here, and they're like, well, this is a no-brainer, because as soon as if we can load up here, we could probably take it to here, but the impending doom of void is sitting here. Right, so in the jigsaw theory, that is the trap, right? This is the trap. That's why this is the pivot, because the people that when bottoms become tops sold here, and they're like, holy shit. And they roll their books over here, that guy or nobody. It doesn't have, not everybody has to be in the same trade. Because the duration of that trade, this half-hour chart, by the way, so this is definitely quick and dirty. I mean, you could have made a mint here and be done with it. You could have made a mint here. There's so much going on here. This is why you got to realize there's a guy out there that's like, dude, here's my void. I put in a fucking pant load, I'm out. I bought this void, I put in a pant load, I'm out. Here's a void, I'm selling, I'm out. Another void, I'm out. No, right? Selling into this void here. As soon as it kicks back, I'm out. Then there's a guy that's like, you know what? We bought so much here, and I'm holding. I'm going to buy more here, and I'm holding. And every time it comes deep in, and I get divergence coming in, adding. Everybody is a snowflake. Everybody's unique. I don't get why people are saying, well, no. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're going to trade momentum, RSI is the ticket. If you're going to trade volatility, The true range of each bar is the ticket. That's all you need is 2 tools. Like if you have a flathead and a star, flathead and a nail wrench. See, now you need all these tools, And I guess I did that to the automotive industry too. They said, well, this is a proprietary tool. The tool costs $300. You got to buy it from the manufacturer. And it's actually, it's like a key, You just, it's like you can't, it's not no use or serviceable parts inside. And that's what it's like. So here I'm just looking to cash out into this void or sell into that void right now. And that thing's left the station. There's no signal there now. We have to wait till they close the half hour. Or we could go to the 5-minute chart and trade it. Now that would be, you could do it, but you got to be quick on the draw, right? 2-period RSI, 5-minute chart. Now look at all the signals in here. You got to be quick on the draw, though. Here's a sell. If you're quick straw McGraw, here's your sell. Right? Isn't this obvious? I hope so. We can only hope and pray for the flat earthers. Pray for a flat earther tonight. There's your structure trap. We close. Anytime it closes below, I'd buy. Unless you already have your limits sitting in that window there. And the spread's not bad. This is about the spread. The trap zone is about the spread. That's about as good as it gets. And now the sellers are coming in, which I'm one of them. Thank you. Just by the robot putting those sell limits on. I like the placement. The robot picked the ultimate entry. I totally agree with the robot at this point. Anyways, I hope that helps. Now we go back to the vertical view of the market. And we only need to see this much data, right? Whether it's a 5-minute chart. Now I could run all these on the half hour and just trade my ass off with this RSI. It's very simple. You'll still need a stop. You'll still need more than one entry. And once you figure out that, okay, I can still get in this trade. I'm not really chasing it because I don't have a choice. If I'm looking at the clock here, I fix the scale so it's all squirrely. It's crazy. But here I'll just go like this. I'm going to use this to give me a nice balance between momentum and price. I fix the scale. I can't reload the template. The template is the robot. I've just saved the template as the robot. It's included in the template, the robot. So here I have to just unfix the scale, go back to normal. Go back to the real world like this guy I'm arguing with about the evidence of people getting murdered. Really? You didn't kill your wife. You went fishing. Of course you did. You went fishing. And you cry in private. I got it. So I'm going to get apples to apples here. This is the half-hour chart. See, we don't want to zoom out like this. Well, I guess you could, right? This is the half-hour chart. And what's trades? I would buy. I think I missed my entry here. But this would be the buy. This would have been the buy. I could have put a pending at structure. And RSI is confirming more oversold, higher price. Okay. And we're looking to break this trend line. I know trend lines don't work, but we're looking to break this one. Right? You're looking to break them, and sometimes you're looking to hold them. I'm sure that people that are trading that triangle were looking for it to hold. This trend line break on close, price, right? Now you could say, well, I got trapped here, but you are still up in that trade if you had a tight stop, right? I mean, it really... You have a trade for these trend lines, by the way? Look at this top becoming a bottom right now on the pound half hour. RSI has divergence, giving you liftoff. Here is all the positive reversals. There's all the trend trades stacking up. Keeps getting more oversold. Prices drifting up. Here is your 2-period buy signal. You missed it. That's right, you missed the entry, people. Get a babysit the half-hour chart. It pays off, though. It's less risky than the 4-hour chart. So perspective matters here. I just zoom in one level, it's a whole different story. And I just be cashing out of that. Now the sellers just came in, if you notice. New highs. We can also go to the 1-hour chart. It depends how much you want to trade. Now, obviously, less signals on the 1 hour, but they're cleaner and they cost more. Less trading costs more. You got to trade big, right? Because if you're going to trade a lot, you could trade small. Clean slate, 1-hour chart. All you have to do is wait a fucking hour, right? That's it. And really not a lot of good signals here. Half hour's got better ones. More work though. Here's a kind of reversal. Kind of pushing it out technically speaking, but we still have the pivot. Here, this thing's on fire. This market is so insane. We do get the signal here though. Nice perfect trend line on this. Trend continuation. Perfect structure, top, bottom, on the 1 hour. Just boring goober shit. This is classic. Yeah, these trades are there all day long, man. Trend trading, trend lines. You know, this whole ICT thing is so fucking hysterical because guy never talks about. I mean, the guy banned me from his Twitter and everything, so I can't even look. It's so funny. He took down that picture that I talked about. He wasn't able to get to that video because I didn't have his video inside of my video when he talked about $100 Bitcoin. I'm like, wow, thanks for the buy signal. I mean, it's so funny because the Bitcoin does cost money to be mined, and that is the fair value market. So it's funny, Bitcoin came all the way back to the fundamental fair value. The guy Dieter over there in Moldavia, he'd understand, even though he does trade Bitcoin, he'd understand. Fundamentally, what is that thing intrinsically worth? That's fundamentals. What is it really worth? And gold is the cost of labor. Gold is the cost of labor. Don't people realize that? If a robot's going to mine gold, dude, the price of gold's going down. Can't you understand that? It's labor-based. Why are apps so cheap? Because I can get it. I can just whip out. I can write some code and poof, there you go. Why does the Apple phone cost what it does? And it's tied to. I'm not conspiratorial, but it's all tied to. There's everybody's giving everybody a reach around in the digital hardware market, the software, the hardware market, right? Because you're gonna put that on me? Okay. Well, we'll wrap this around. There you go. It's a package. Who hasn't got a bundle of shit with their fucking hardware? Really? Why do you think there's a bundle of shit? I don't have the grid in here. What the fuck? I'm running different schemes here, and I'm not seeing my price grid show up. This is a 20 pip grid. This is a 10. This is different. Anyways. Here's the divergence. Of course, this is when divergence fails, and here that you did make a little bit of money. And anybody that thought that this was the top and they sold and they're not getting what they want, they start buying back. Those people are buying back. Dude, there's so many people in there trading. Are you kidding me? Well, the banks are manipulating the market to play with your indicators. Okay, dude. You need to take another fucking view of the live feed that I watched when I was a child of the fucking people landing on the moon. So it's so funny. It's so funny that people think that they didn't land on the moon. It's got to be clickbait. Nobody could possibly think that. But I could be wrong. There could be some real airheads, we used to call them, or retards out there. Or those backwards people, those inbred people there. Come here, son. Let me show you something. This, we can just dial this in just right here. This is just such a quiet market right now. Look at this cute little divergence here on the 1 hour. You can just trade this dumb shit. Well, an hour went by, I saw divergence and I bought. And then some other guy's like, yeah, I know I bought there because it's a double bottom. Why can't people see that? That's the trap trader's entry. It didn't quite make new lows here, but this is a double bottom. It's a retest. It's a failure to go lower. Dude, I could talk about that one entry all day long. What's the point without a fucking trade plan? And if you're a range trader, when it comes to here, you're out. Now the guy that's going to go for the gusto and perceives, well, you know what, when we fill this hole, right? What's the cause and effect here? Why is this ripping like a fucking rape date through that price? And why is it reversing at this wick? Gee, I don't know, Elmer. Well, how fucking retarded are people? I mean, the people that teach this shit can't even fucking really see that void. And why is the price action so hard through that area? I don't know. Why is it so vicious into these voids? And then, the other way. People that sold that top, as that thing comes crushing back to the void it left behind. This void. The ATR guys are getting in here. Your breakout pot's getting in here. It identifies a low hourly true range. It gets in here. The trailing stops get hit. It gets in there. It's getting chopped. It's probably not trading. We're coming in the London Open now. It's long right now. Can you see it? There's only two strategies. Well, three. You're either getting in limits, market, or stop entry. That's a strategy or a tactic. Because you're trying to make money from price fluctuation, whether you're going to be the guy that rides the trend, like gets married to it and has to go through all that drama, price swing drama, or you're going to go, nope, I trade one pulse and I'm out. I just one date, I'm done. I've seen enough. You're out of your fucking mind. I gotta go. Bottom became a top. Sure, you look cute in the beginning. You're just out of your fucking mind. You're another fucking out of your mind flat earther. 1 hour to my target. I'm done. I'm not buying here. I don't trade reversals. I don't ride this shit. Okay, great. I buy this trap. I get out. I'm done. You don't have to be the guy that you bought here. You didn't get out. It's your first exit. Comes back here, you buy more. Or comes back here, you shit your pants, you get out, you watch it take off, and you kill yourself. You got burned on RSI divergence last time. You don't trust it. I'll never do that again. Them bitches are crazy. But you have to be up for that. Look at this reversal. I just noticed. It's kind of long-legged. But you have to be up for that, right? Why buy a car if you not want to put gas in it, oil it, fix it after you bend it on a rim, on a pothole, bend the rims? You know that going in, right? That's half the joy of ownership is punishment. Anyways, 2-period RSI, hour and 14 minutes with 2-period RSI in assorted anger. What can I tell you?